Hello and welcome back to the Football Chat podcast. It's episode 113 today. We're going to be conducting a review on League One because it's been a very exciting season in England's third tier. We're going to be discussing that today. We're going to be talking about teams like Plymouth, Cambridge United, Ipswich and even Sheffield's Wednesday. So a plethora of conversation topics today, as well as the new EFL rights deal, and then we'll run through our rumour mill as always. Should we start with Cambridge then? I've probably titled it about Cambridge because what dramatic scenes we saw yesterday at the time of recording. Very exciting, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah, they were. It was against them. It was very much against them going into the last game of the season. And I mean, yes, a bit of fortune with MK Dons and other teams failing to win.
Also, the fact they got to play Forest Green, who are probably the worst team in League One history.
Yeah, they haven't been great, but Morecambe lost, which relegated that. We saw MK Dons go down. And Cambridge somehow managed to survive by a single point.
Yeah, so 6 points from their last three matches. Some crucial wins in there. We saw them win 2-0 on the final day. And that meant Cambridge secure their place in League One for another season. It's really nice. We're quite local to Cambridge. We're not too far away from it here. Yeah. So it's quite nice to see a local side doing decently. The scenes were immense. I mean, I remember the first time I saw anything about it was a clip of Cambridge fans. They're all gathered around one phone. And they're all watching this guy's refreshing, seeing the other scores. They see the other games go to full time, and the crowd erupts. There's people running on the pitch. They secured their survival.
I mean, it's huge. It's
testament to the players because they pulled off a magnificent,
it was
great escape.
Up against it, they picked up some big points and managed to stay up, which is huge for the club because obviously remaining in the third division of English football, is huge from money wise. You don't want to drop down.
Financials will be it's imperative you stay in the league. But do you think they can build on this? Do you think they can take momentum because they've got to do more next season? Because I don't think they beat the drop again.
Yeah,
if they don't change.
I don't know. I think looking at some of the teams that are coming up, I think they're. I don't know if they're better than them.
Leighton Orient. I think Orient could be.
I think Orient probably
top half challengers.
That's the thing. That's the problem. I look at Orient. I think the teams around the playoff picture will challenge Cambridge. They've got to step up. Because if not, they'll find themselves in a similar position.
We saw Forest Green. They come up? Didn't they? They've had 2 seasons in League One, right?
I thought they absolutely waltzed the league. They waltzed.
Because of course Rob Edwards came up and we saw how
Rob Edwards left. They brought in Duncan Ferguson and.
Don't know how they ever
no
thought that was
offence to Duncan Ferguson, but you've gone from managing Everton in the Premier League to being bottom of League One.
There's a lot of people very happy that League One that Forest Green got down.
Yeah,
people are not fans of Forest Green, but Cambridge, a club with a lot of history, rich history, and I'm glad to see them stay in League One for another year. Yeah, decent season, and not decent season, but they've stayed up, and that's all that matters.
Commiseration. I mean, just to touch on it, like MK Dons.
Everyone hates them as well.
They do. But
general football fans are buzzing by this season.
A lot has gone wrong there. Last season they finished third, reached the playoff final,
and they lost
that. And then this season they're now relegated to League Two.
The franchise has fallen apart.
A huge turn in events for the club. They lost big players, and it kind of
Scott Twine, bowler.
It just fell apart really. And then realistically though, they should absolutely waltz League Two. Because they're still a good football club. They've still got.
Well, it depends who they retain, because they're going to have to. There's going to be a turnover in playing.
The fans are furious at the owner. I don't think.
Did you see the clip of him out trying to get into his car? And there's just MK Dons fans going,
not letting it.
Shouting at him. Yeah.
It's not because they're a really good club, and as I said, they're one game away from being in the Championship, and now this season they're in League Two.
Yeah, but I mean, most football fans are very happy they're not.
Yeah, most.
Succeeding.
The consensus is that Forest Green and MK Dons have gone down, and everyone's happy.
Yeah. But I don't know how I feel. I don't really care about MK Dons either.
No,
I don't.
Really nice stadium though.
Well, exactly. It's likely that Luton Town will be playing there next season if they get promoted, because Luton don't have a stadium. Yeah. I do feel the MK Dons. You say nice stadium. It is a nice stadium. It's just a bit
big.
Generic.
It's one of the biggest though. It's going to be the biggest in League Two. It's massive.
Yeah, and the smallest in the Prem. Probably Bournemouth if they stay up, which they should now, but not the topic of today's conversation. Looking at the other end of the League One table, because I don't think we've mentioned League One enough this year. Plymouth Argyle, what a season!
I mean, it's brilliant. Back into the Championship. It's gonna be tough for them next year because, I mean, what a season! 101 points. Breaking that 100-point mark. Had a brilliant campaign. And they've looked unbeatable at times, especially in the first part of the season with Morgan Whittaker. I mean, obviously he got recalled by Swansea, which didn't help in January, but they dealt with that absolutely fine, and they've carried on their tremendous form and won the league. Yeah. I think I've been a bit lucky at times with Sheffield
really good performances from some individuals that have played really well. I think Barley Mumba stands out to me. So obviously he won EFL Young Player of the Season on loan from Norwich. I think he's a really good talent. Do you think Plymouth will get him on a permanent going into the Championship next season?
That is my only concern with Plymouth. They've been brilliant this year, but as you mentioned, Barley Mumba on a loan. Morgan Whittaker was on loan until he got recalled. They've had quite a few loans this year. And if you look at their squad without those lone players, it's not good enough to stay up in the Championship.
It's weird that out of the sides going up from League One, and we'll touch on the other teams in a moment, but I think Plymouth are the least likely to survive.
I think they've got the worst quality.
Probably, yeah. But they've won the league, and
for me, they've got the worst quality out of top 4, weird, isn't it? Maybe top 3. But brilliant campaign.
They've obviously got a coach who has never managed at this sort of level before. He was the Southport manager between 2017 2017. He lasted a month, and now he's been Plymouth Argyle manager since December 2021. And so Stephen Schumacher, a good
testament to him.
Well, he had a really good season, but if he can keep it up, for next year? I guess we'll see. He's 39, so he's a young manager.
He'll be under a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
it's a very we've shown this year. We'll probably touch on Championship. We can't touch on it yet either, but we've already seen tough seasons for people at the sharp end, at the bottom end. As long as you get deducted points, though, you might be all right. If there's anything like this season, just stay out of financial trouble, and you'll finish ahead of everyone because they'll get minus points.
But they've got to be smart in the business.
It needs to recruit well.
Just unlike the team below them, they're not bankrolled. They haven't got £700 million in the transfer kitty, so that it's going to take some smart recruitment, some shrewd business, and holding on to what you can from this squad to take Plymouth into the Championship. But I think they can survive next season. It's a matter of whether they want to, and if they want to, then they've got to go about it in the right way and not make the same mistakes that other clubs have in recent years. But what a season! 101 points, testament to the immense performances. I don't think Plymouth though are the best team in the league, which is an interesting. I'm sorry, Plymouth fans, if you're watching, you're probably going to be annoyed by that. You deserve the league title because you're top of the league.
This season they were the best team in the league, obviously, but in terms of quality in the squad, I don't think they're the best. I don't think I've ever seen a team win the league 101 points but just 35 goal difference. That's pretty low. Exactly. They should defend well, I guess. Yeah, well, they've conceded only 47 this season, which ranks as the 5th best from what I can see from the top 10. I don't think anyone below that's going to have a better goal difference, but and then goals, they're a good 20 behind the team in second place. Shall we talk about that team in second place? Ipswich Town, another team we are very local to here. I'll be honest, we've that's all I've listened to for the last year. Is Ipswich fans very happy about this season? They've been pretty good, Ipswich. They have been pretty good. So them and Sheffield Wednesday in third, by the way. 98 points for Ipswich, 96 points for Sheffield Wednesday. Both would have been promoted in any of the last 5 seasons. I was looking back through this, by the way. In 2018, I believe it was, or 2019, Coventry won League One with 65 points. I believe that's the season it got... No, that would have been 2020, I think, when they got terminated from COVID, is my guess. But 65 points would only put them like 9th, 10th. It's mental. This year. But Ipswich, obviously, automatic promotion. Could have won the league on the final day if they'd beaten Fleetwood and Plymouth had dropped points, but Plymouth beat Port Vale and Ipswich drew to Fleetwood. So... but fantastic season. Kieran McKenna, obviously, ex-United coach, understudied a lot of phenomenal managers, and that's kind of where he's learnt his trade, and it's been a brilliant season. He's clearly a very capable manager, and I think if they recruit well... No, it's not on the COVID year. 2019-20 that was COVID, wasn't it? Yeah, 34. So they 34 games, 67 points, but still not... No, it's not. Standard, is it? But Ipswich had a really good season. They do need to recruit well, but I think they will. They've got a lot of money, haven't they? And B, they already kind of have. I look at players like Nathan Broadhead. I think he's good enough to cut it in the Championship. They're looking at Adam Armstrong, which would be massive. But I think it makes sense, doesn't it? He's a very proven Championship quality player. Southampton are not going to want him because I wouldn't say he's quality to win the Championship, but I think he's good enough to get playoffs. 100%. He's definitely and that's the thing. I don't think that's the worry we talk about. To be honest,
Rob, mate, he's probably watching this because I put Ipswich at the title. Rob, Fred Ladapo is not. He's not quality.
A lot of Ipswich fans. I mean, I know lots of fans looking forward to the East Anglian derby next year against Norwich.
Everyone tells me Ladapo's mint, but I just
He's
don't.
right for League One, but I don't cut it in Championship.
By the way, Ipswich could have broke 100 points if they'd beaten Fleetwood on the final day. But they drew 2-2 away. Double from some bloke called Marriott. Just don't.
James?
Jack Marriott. Didn't he used to play for Harrogate?
I don't know.
No, he used to play for Derby though.
Did play for Ipswich. But yeah, no, I think Ipswich should be alright. I think they'll be very much clear of the relegation zone. They'll invest well. They've got a decent...
This was an interesting conversation. Do you think that Ipswich Town can get back-to-back promotions?
No.
Why not?
No, even Ipswich fans, I mean, some are a bit stupid, but...
Really? I was going to say, every Ipswich fan I've spoken to has got, we're getting the playoffs, we're going to go up, Kieran McKenna.
Most people I've talked to have said that this year they'll get top half, next year they'll get playoffs.
Yeah, I've heard the same sort of thing when I get them to be reasonable, but most Ipswich fans I've heard have
I think they'll have a season just to steady themselves back in the Championship where they were for years.
Well, yeah, because it's the first time back in the Championship since, what, 2018?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got relegated in 2018-19. They've been in League One for 5 years. It's a long time out of the top two tiers for Ipswich.
I think they'll do very well.
History.
I think they'll do very, very well.
Yeah. I mean, it shows their quality that their season this year would have been good enough for a league title in any of the last 5 seasons. It shows how good those 3 teams at the top have been. Plymouth, Ipswich, Sheffield, Wednesday. But once again, we've spoken about this in the National League, obviously, and we're going to go to the National League as well later because we've got the playoffs to talk about. But the fact that 3 teams have had such impeccable seasons and only 2 get promoted, it's a little more because obviously in the National League they only get 1 promotion
but also,
spot.
I mean, Sheffield Wednesday are 12 points off. Are they not?
No, they scored 96 points.
Oh, 96 plus 86.
No, 96. They're only 2 points behind Ipswich, 5 points off the title. And they're like 20 points above the other teams in
Ipswich drew to Fleetwood on the final day. You take that away, they're 4 points off. They're less than a win off. A win and a bit off. Yeah, they've been good, but because there's 2 spots, I think it's less harsh.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, also
they recovered because Sheffield Wednesday they fell off a little bit.
They did have a bit of a stumble in the mid-season, didn't they? But Wednesday, big win on the final day against Derby. No. The reason this had major repercussions is because Derby County knocked out of those playoff places on the final day. Peterborough getting up into the playoffs. Very interesting scenes. Peterborough, of course, with Darren Ferguson in charge. I saw him doing some interviews after the game, just absolutely elated that they managed to pull it off.
I mean, he came in with Peterborough 5 points off the playoffs and then nicked it on the final day.
I saw this, right? The first time I saw this, the 5 points off the playoffs thing. I read it first as 5 points off of relegation, I think, and that's amazing. 5 points off the playoffs. Oh, we won 2 games more than everyone else. What a god. Like, it's less of a stat than people have been making it out to be.
I do think it's a bit more than Jack because he has such a...
When did he join?
I can't
if it's only like 6 games ago, then fair enough, but... Oh, January. That's 5 points there. But he's still doing a good job. They've got playoffs.
Peterborough, I mean, they're flirting with the playoffs, the last few years, really, I think, if you check their past positions.
Peterborough, mate. Stop trying to pull the playoffs. I'll have a look.
But yeah, they've been...
So 22nd in the Championship, obviously, last year. Second the year before they went up. 7th the year before that. So
I forgot they went up.
A bit of a wit. So yeah, well, 9th in the season before, 9th, 7th, 7th, 2nd, up, down.
They've always been around. They've been around the same area,
back
really.
in the playoffs. But Johnson Clark-Harris probably their standout player.
But again, this is
26 goals in 46 games.
Their squad is a good League One squad, but it isn't Championship quality. Nonetheless, I don't think it will matter.
But you can probably get £15 million from Ronnie Edwards.
I don't think it will matter in the end for Peter because I just look at... They play Sheffield Wednesday on Friday in the first leg of their playoff semi-final. I don't think they'll beat them. And I look at Bolton as well. For me, it's a nailed-on playoff final of Sheffield Wednesday and Barnsley, but...
Really?
We'll see, yeah.
Obviously, I don't watch enough League One football. I don't care about any teams really in there. I think the league's interesting, and I like the colourway in the mid because it goes the table fades from blue into red,
Derby as well.
Yellow.
I mean, to fall out the playoffs on the final day to a red card and a penalty because Curtis Davies is questionable defending.
He is, yeah.
It's just there's so many chances, but it was I cannot remember the goalkeeper's name for Sheffield Wednesday. Is it Cameron someone?
David Stockdale, Cameron Dawson, one of them.
I mean, he had a brilliant game.
8.3 rating and he stopped the pen.
Yeah. I mean, Derby were all over him.
5 saves. 2 diving saves, well done. 10 throws. No punches though, so I'd mark him down on that.
But yeah, no. Plymouth...
I didn't say pen, sorry, he kept clean sheet.
It'd be really interesting how those Plymouth finish, which fair in the Championship, and I would expect to see Sheffield Wednesday join them in due course. But obviously they've got to go through and win at Wembley in about a week and a bit's time.
Darren Moore, where have I heard that name? Wasn't he like West Brom? He was West Brom. Yeah, he was that caretaker manager for the end of their season. Yeah. Got them relegated. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I think my early predictions for next season that Ipswich will get top half, Plymouth will just avoid relegation, and then whoever goes up to the playoffs will get relegated. Tends to be how it works, doesn't it?
I think I'd sort them round. I'd say because I think if Wednesday get up, they'll stay up.
Oh.
And Plymouth will go down.
You think Plymouth will go down?
They're good, but I don't think they're that good.
Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, I do think Ipswich probably should have won the league this year. I'd go as far to say it was a failure from Ipswich to not win the league because I think their team is better than any other in the Championship.
They did slip up every now and again, but I think they'll take a promotion.
Like Leif Davis in League One, he played Prem football.
Yeah,
he's playing semi. He played a couple of games for Leeds. Wasn't playing so regularly.
I'm looking at our team that plays Fleetwood, and I'm not surprised it drew. I mean, looking at Donatian.
Yeah.
Starting, it's
a talented side, this Ipswich one.
It's a good side. They'll do very well, and with a bit of recruitment, they'll be a very strong side to push on. I think they'll be back in the Premier League soon.
Oh, when?
In the next 5 years.
Fair enough. 2025, could you see them in by then?
Yeah.
Because if they were to be...
I think...
I was going to do a segue. Come on.
Sorry.
No, go on. So you're thinking then we'll go back to my segue.
Because I think that... So next year, top half. Season after, I'll probably say playoffs, but I don't think they'll win it. And then it'll be the season after that, they might get automatics.
No, if they were to go back to back, they'd avoid our next topic, the Sky Sports EFL rights deal for 2024-25. This is controversial, but I'm on board. I think. So EFL rights deal 2024-25, 1,000 games will be broadcast. This is Sky Sports, by the way. I don't think I've mentioned that. Yeah. But yeah, Sky Sports will broadcast 1,000 EFL games, 328 Championship fixtures, 248 League One, 248 League Two. Also, all the playoffs, all Carabao Cup fixtures, and all EFL Trophy fixtures. It's going to be big.
I mean, the only difference there, obviously the Championship and League 1, League 2 games, they've always covered the playoffs, always covered the Carabao Cup, but EFL Trophy as well, they'll cover that. They only usually do the semi-finals for that.
So we've seen in recent years how financial problems have marred the English Football League. I think it doesn't go the whole way to fix everyone's issues. There's going to be still bad owners. You're still going to have bad eggs. You're still going to have teams failing FFP. But this goes a long way to help out the EFL teams. This is going to be an expensive rights deal.
It is, and that is good. But there's pros and cons to it as well. I mean, I'm for it. I think it's great, but I know some people will be annoyed because you think for the regular match goers of the lower leagues, it's going to be frustrating because games are going to get moved for TV and say, it's not going to be that you always go to your team on a Saturday afternoon and watch them play.
Yeah.
If you work on a Monday night, you can't go watch them. So that might be frustrating.
I have seen this. People talk. It's been the biggest negative to this deal is that does this ruin the experience for match-going fans? But I don't think anything beats the experience of live football. And I know, of course, in this time of financial trouble, people may go, well, I'm not going to pay because I can just still watch the game from home. But I think this suits everyone. There's certain people who can't go to games for whatever reason, maybe because of age. They may have gone to every single game throughout their life. They're now in their 80s, travelling down, heading away to go and watch Ipswich MK Dons. Doesn't exactly fit
the faithful away fans will still go.
Exactly. I don't think this will damage attendances too much. No. If anything, clubs may have to bring those ticket prices down to attract more fans to go. I don't think that's necessarily a negative, and it'll be offset by the fact that they'll earn more in TV rights.
This is bigger for League 1 and League 2 because we've seen Sky have always covered a load of Championship games. I know there's more going into 24-25.
Can't wait to watch 248 Wrexham and Salford games.
Oh, it is genuinely just going to be.
That's what it's going to
Wrexham
be.
and Salford.
As soon as Wrexham have got promoted, they're like, because they know people are going to watch Wrexham games. I know it doesn't come until next season, and Wrexham could be League One by that point.
I mean, it's going to be brilliant.
That means we will probably cover some EFL games in the future for TFC Live.
We Championship before, but
we've watched Burnley.
We're not covering the playoffs this year.
Watched Burnley Watford, which is the first game of the season, and then watched no more Championship games.
We probably won't do this year's playoff finals. Might do the Championship.
I was going to say we will do the Championship playoff final unless it's Luton. In which case we will be trying to get tickets to not cover it live at the stadium. But there will be some updates on socials.
As we said, League One, probably Sheffield's Wednesday, Barnsley, not spending too much on that. League Two, I can't think of who's there off the top of my head.
Should we have a look?
I want to say Northampton.
Obviously, we are recording before the fixtures. We are to Monday morning.
The Championship and League Two haven't finished yet.
League Two kick off in a couple of hours, so 3 hours. But it's going to be Stockport, Carlisle, Salford, Bradford, probably, unless Mansfield can pick up 3 points and get ahead of Bradford.
Northampton go to automatics, fair enough. Unless they lose, obviously.
Yeah. So there's still a lot to play for. Stockport with a win against Hartlepool today, who are already relegated, could transform their season. And Northampton have to head away to Tranmere, who are 11th. Otherwise, the League Two sides are just class.
But this is a big deal. I think it's going to be great to see, because I think it's going to push out people are going to know more about League One and League Two football. We're going to watch a load more games, learn about a lot more players.
So I'll be honest, I'm sat there on a Thursday evening. There's not a European week. There's no Prem fixtures. Oh, hang on, what's that? Bradford Grimsby's on red button.
Chuck it on.
Go on then, why not?
Why is it on red button?
Because Tranmere Sutton is on main event.
But no, I think it's a great thing for all.
Yeah.
I think it's a big, finally.
It's a big financial boost for the team. Yeah. I do think this hurts the National League, but I think there's ways you can fix this. We've spoken in the past about TV rights and stuff. I think my way and to fix this would be to set up a subscription service for the National League. I think they've already got one. They've got a national subscription service that doesn't really. Just half the games go to BT.
I don't think, because I didn't actually realise this, how many games BT. I don't know the actual number, but BT actually cover a lot of National League games.
National League games, yeah. But most
of it's just Wrexham and Notts County, this year, but they've covered quite a few games.
But also, this money trickles down through the Football League. So, EFL will be making money from this. The EFL clubs will be making money from this, and those EFL clubs can then buy players from lower leagues, bring them up. That's, I guess, the theory behind all this, is that in a way, those small the National League sides can get more money.
In the National League, I mean, this historic season between Wrexham and Notts County has not just been massive for those two teams, it's been massive for the league.
Do you think, though, this rights deal could bring about a sort of monopoly of Football League clubs? Because we see it in the Premier League, it's very hard to break into the Premier League, but once you're in, the financial gain you get gives you such an advantage over Championship clubs that even if you go back down, you're suddenly now a top 6 Championship side every year.
It could.
Could this create a similar thing where actually National Leagues can get into the Championship, but if you're not in into League Two, but then struggle go back down, and they then have the dominance over the National League, and actually maybe we won't see much variance. I think that the nature of the National League will mean that doesn't happen. Because a lot of the times the clubs dropping out the Football League, well, exactly, and owners are having to run into their cars under fire.
I think it'll be interesting to see also which games get covered, because as we see in the Premier League, they favour the big 6. They're always on TV. City, Liverpool, United.
I think this will be more about getting the teams with the biggest fan bases.
I want to see some, relegation crackers and just random mid-table games.
I think random mid-table games. Was a random mid-table game?
248 League Two games. I don't want to see 125 being Wrexham and Notts County.
But
probably will.
Yeah, another conversation. I'm sure this is a bigger topic, so we'll probably talk about it more on another day. But the 3 p.m. blackout, does this just not negate the need for it? Because if they don't get rid of the 3 p.m. blackout, what we're going to do is all the Championship games are going to have to move so much that it creates so much problem for fans travelling, because it's going to be like a Friday or a Monday game. So it's going to be more midweek fixtures. It's going to become so messy for fans. Does it not just make more sense to get rid of the blackout? I don't think it serves a purpose in the modern day.
I think so. A, yeah, we've obviously got the right still. B, the other thing that would also favour that is, I look at the way the television broadcasts. Football focus on BBC as Jermaine Genius. No one wants to watch him. BT do not know a soul that watches Final Score. Never met anyone that's watched Final Score.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody that has access to Sky and BT goes, I want to watch some Steve McManaman and get his thoughts. Only time I've ever tuned into any of its coverage was Robbie Savage when his son scored. And I wasn't even watching it, I just saw a clip.
I didn't watch it. Everyone watches Soccer Saturday on Sky because it's free if you have a Sky box. And
which is not free, by the way. Sky boxes aren't free.
Okay, Sky boxes aren't free, yeah, you know what I mean. So either you watch BBC, which again, Jermaine Genius, no. Everyone watches Sky. Jeff Stelling's leaving. It's not like it used to be. It used to be like 4 years ago, complete blackout. All the faithful fans got a ticket and went to the games. Everyone else sat at home and watched Matt Letizia try and pronounce foreign names, and it was brilliant.
It's not the same as
Chris Kamara, people are getting subbed off and they've actually been sent off. You don't have moments like that. With
the rise of international broadcast in the Premier League, the need for Soccer Saturday is gone. And the need for stuff like that, because there is so much coverage. If you want to watch the Premier League, there are now ways around it. You get a VPN, you switch yourself to America, you watch the...
It's just not the same anymore.
So the only way that the Premier League can stop people doing that is by broadcasting the games. So I think the 3pm blackout either has to go, or we create something from the 3pm blackout. The 3pm is exclusive for National League teams and so on. And Sunday teams. So you play early games, you play or you move the blackout to Sundays, and all the National League games
do a Soccer
Saturday,
something like that. But get the main games in the studio National League.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's just not the same anymore.
But it won't be, will it?
No, you want your Matt Letizier's and your...
And they'll still serve... It still serves a purpose for fans, because there are fans out there still who can't afford a VPN, can't afford to buy Sky, but do have a Sky box, obviously, because they're humans. They're not an Amish community. So they've got a Sky box, they can watch 409, they can tune stuff like that. So it still serves a purpose, but there are too many ways now to get around the 3pm blackout that actually, is it worth it?
Also,
probably not.
If you watch Final Score, please let us know in the comments, because I want to meet someone that's actually
It's just going to be Jermaine Genius. And he's live on the BBC.
He's watching it.
Oh, look, what's Robbie Savage said? I'll say the same thing.
But and obviously, if you watch Football Focus, and unlucky.
But yeah, to be fair, Football Focus is free.
Yes, that makes more sense if you watch that. If you watch Final
If you
Score,
paid to watch BT Sport,
I understand if you buy it to watch the football game.
Sure.
If you choose to watch Final Score, there's something wrong with you.
That's harsh, but yeah, it's. I think the 3pm blackout needs to go. I like the rights deal. I know there's a lot of issues with it. I'm sure there'll be a lot of fans on this who are quite angry about the deal.
It's a big thing for the lower leagues.
I think this helps the Football League a lot, because as much as this might hurt the National League, the finances in the Football League also aren't good at the moment. And so I think you can't... I don't think this directly damages the National League, hopefully. I still think people will go along to National League games, especially if the 3pm blackout is maintained. I just hope then the people see some sense and either get rid of the 3pm blackout or move the Premier League games. Because what is the point in having half a Premier League game week where I can't watch it in the UK?
Yeah.
But everyone elsewhere in the world can.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. And it's going to push more and more people away from Sky, so they've got to do something about it. They've got to try and get the FA to get rid of this 3pm blackout. 100%. But yeah. What else have we got to talk about? Well, we've got final topic before we get into the rumour mill. We're going to finish up on the National League playoffs.
Wow. Just wow.
I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever watched the National League as much as I have this season. I've seen so much National League football.
I've seen a lot of Notts County and Wrexham and whoever they play.
Yeah, exactly that.
Brilliant playoff semi-finals. Both going to extra time. Both being very dramatic. We saw Notts County against Boreham Wood. Boreham Wood took a 2-0 lead. Everyone thought, oh my God, Notts County, they're so unlucky.
We were watching this one just before stream, weren't we? And it was when Jody Jones scored. There's a fantastic clip of the Notts County commentators. So for the BBC, they obviously have commentators at every ground. It's the Notts County ones. They are Notts County fans, obviously. Who else is just travelling to Notts County for a game? But they are quality. And this guy, the main commentator, just goes mental. It's sensational. If you search for the clip out there, I don't know what you search to find it.
Bournemouth went 2-0 up. Everyone felt like, oh my god, they've got Notts County 100 points, they're going to lose. 96th minute, it was a double from, I can't remember his name now.
Aidan Baldwin. 47th minute and 96th minute goals. Jody Jones, the substitute, then in the 120th minute, the last kick of the game, pretty much.
Obviously, Notts County, they deserve it. They deserve to get in that playoff final. They deserve to go to Wembley because what a scene they've had. But Boreham Wood to be 2-0 up to then go to extra time because of 96th minute equaliser and then concede. And you're knocked down in the 120th minute.
I feel for Boreham Wood in the sense that they've played really well in this game. But you cannot deny that Notts County deserve to win because they've been brilliant.
I mean, while we're live watching Newcastle Arsenal, thanks to everyone that joined us, Chesterfield took on Bromley. I mean, Bromley, first of all, who was the guy that just cost them the game?
Oh, the striker, the centre half. So we were live at the time of this one. Adam Marriott obviously opened the scoring for Bromley. Then Deji Elleru scored an own goal to level up the tie. It was the Bromley defender scored an own goal, and then was sent off 20 minutes later. This sending off, Chesterfield opened up the game. They scored in the 79th minute. A 98th minute winner from Michael Cheek levelled up the scores 2-2. Went to extra time. Liam Mandeville in the 102nd minute scored for Chesterfield. Chesterfield 3. Bromley 2.
Mental. Also, Bromley got the tallest centre half I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know who he was, but he was massive. So shout out that guy.
Which means, at Wembley this Saturday, it's Notts County versus Chesterfield. Get down there if you can, why not? So an absolute cracking game. I mean, I'll probably be watching it on TV.
Probably.
They must be put it on TV.
It is on TV.
I was going to say it's ridiculous.
I don't know.
BT will put it on, surely.
But I don't know if they've allowed in Wembley.
Steve Rallard's been banned from Wembley.
Yeah. But Notts County Sheffield, it should be a really good game. I think that's second versus third, isn't it, in the National League?
Because we talk about just to bring both topics together. We talk about the EFL rights deal. It is interesting that Sky doesn't have the National League, and BT does.
But what does Sky gain from having the National League? They're not going to be able to put it on any of their channels. They haven't got enough channels. What have BT got to show? They get one 12:30 kickoff, and they get to watch Champions League games Tuesday and Wednesday.
Put it on Sky Sports.
What, boxing? Hang on, we're going to cover the boxing now because Notts County Bromley's underway.
Sky Sports is it Arena?
That's the boxing one.
No. But they put NFL highlights.
I do think they should change their channels, because at the moment they have them for individual sports, don't they?
Yeah.
So you've got like 5 channels midday on a Wednesday, right? That are just showing highlights of the sports.
I've got the 2011 cricket.
Equally, BT Sport halfway. WWE. We wanted to watch the Milan derby. We had to wait 30 minutes while they showed WWE highlights, and then their coverage began.
But equally, I also think, this is a bit random. This is but this is a separate thing. But Sky shouldn't they've got main event, right? So say they put Newcastle Arsenal on main event. Don't then put it on Premier League and football.
Well, they don't put it on football usually.
Oh, but also I guess some people only buy main events. Some people don't buy. I know you can exclude.
You can buy certain different channels. Yeah.
You can choose to not buy main event and just buy the football channels.
Yeah, you could just buy Premier League.
Oh,
and also, Premier League isn't HD, I don't think. I think main event's the
HD.
only one. Oh, no, it doesn't matter then. Don't know what main event's for. Main event just shows all the others, but cool.
Yeah, main event. I guess.
No, that's why I think main event's the only one that's HD.
It's not.
I think it is.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Because the cricket's in HD.
Is it? Who would know? No one watches it. You're not in. Yeah.
Like Sky Sports Golf should be abolished.
Wow, sorry. If cricket gets to stay, then Sky Sports Golf can stay. But yeah, we took it to absolute.
Should we get into our favourite part of the show?
The best, yeah. The most interesting part. Yeah, hang on, we're going to cut to our live studio audience now. Turn around, guys.
Turn around, we're just sat there. Whee!
Yeah, we haven't mentioned that all this time there's a live studio audience.
It's not 500
completely silent.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, next up, the rumour
Joe's
mill.
Cameron hitting them.
What? Anyway, the rumour mill. Aubameyang to Barcelona is our first rumour today.
Finally.
This comes after a very poor return to the Premier League. He's at Chelsea, the rivals of his former club Arsenal.
Very poor is the understatement.
Where's it not gone wrong for Aubameyang? Because that seems like a quicker question to answer.
He is just crap.
That's where it's gone wrong.
He
Where
is.
it's not gone wrong.
He's just not good enough footballer anymore.
Yeah. We know.
I just don't. Yeah, that's all there is to say. I don't know why Barca
It's
want
been
him.
part of this whole Chelsea circus. Like, why we brought him in the first place is beyond me.
He's the clown in the circus, I think.
Yeah, he's even the biggest problem for Chelsea this season.
Well, yeah, ridiculous amount of money. He's rubbish. Yeah. We bought him in for one manager and sacked that manager.
That was so...
And now just sat in
everything
the
about this. Whenever we look back at the season for Chelsea, it just gets more depressing every time.
Yeah, I think...
But it's not much better at Barcelona. No. They're currently in the league, yet they wouldn't be able to afford Aubameyang if there's a transfer fee.
But why do they want him then? I should
really like him. He played well.
I will give Barcelona £15 million.
Well, Barca would require Aubameyang to take a wage cut, and a dramatic one at that. Which and of course, they need no transfer fee.
Well, if he's got,
they've got a lot of issues.
That's the thing. If he's a passionate footballer, then he will take that wage cut.
If Aubameyang is at Barcelona, something mental has happened to his morals, because I'm expecting him to be in Saudi Arabia, sitting on a camel by the time we get to September. September the 1st.
He replaces Ronaldo and Azir.
Nah, they can play up front together. I know Ronaldo wants to leave, but I'm keeping him there forever. No,
I don't want Ronaldo to come back to any form of proper football.
Apparently he might be returning to Newcastle. No. Or coming to Newcastle. Return to the Premier League, going to Newcastle.
Newcastle,
it'd be a stupid signing.
I know they've got the Saudi link, but...
They want that marquee. They want that Robinho that City brought in. They want that.
If I was Eddie Howe, I'd just bench him. Every single day. But he'll probably get sacked.
In impact sub though, Ronaldo, for the Champions League.
What's he going to do?
Score, mate.
He's 38, can't
I don't think it'll happen. I just feel...
Good. That is a rumour. That's getting on the rumour mill.
No, well, that is now in the rumour mill.
And it's a bad rumour.
Bad rumour. Aubameyang to Barca.
Good rumour.
Good rumour. Don't know why we're doing that, but... we did it last week. It's a
I'm intrigued about the next rumour because it just says company.
Vincent Kompany has signed a new long-term deal.
That's not a rumour.
Burnley. No, but it puts an end to rumours.
Oh, that's a bad rumour because it's not real.
5-year deal until 2028.
In case anyone's surprised, he's not going to Tottenham.
Or Chelsea. Both are linked. That new long-term deal at Burnley secures Burnley's future, secures him a place in the Premier League next season.
I would rather manage Burnley, I think, right now.
More than Tottenham and Chelsea?
Yeah. Say you're not a Chelsea fan. Neutrality.
I think you have to make that step up. But not in this case. So if you're any other manager on the planet... other manager.
Because you're at
if you don't have that sort of Kompany's got this. He's got that reputation. His career won't fail necessarily because I don't think it'll ever fail because no one's heard about him. Like he's still going to be a big name.
Vincent Kompany.
Well, exactly. But say like Nathan Jones, right? He couldn't turn down Southampton because he might never get the chance to manage in the Premier League.
But it's Luton.
What?
He could have won the league at Luton, but he
probably wouldn't have. But I think with Kompany, his name, his reputation, in the same way with Gerrard and Lampard, will get him to the Premier League anyway. And, of course, he is going up.
Yeah.
He's in that situation where they are promoted. They are going to be playing Premier League football next year.
He's not end up anything like Gerrard or Lampard.
But even if Burnley go down, I could see him getting another Premier League job. And I could see him eventually ending up at a big club.
Yeah.
And I think City seems to be that destination, doesn't it? Because everyone thought Arteta would succeed Pep. But Arteta's now Arsenal. Of course. But it is fascinating to see how well Pep's understudies are doing.
Where, like, all the ex-players imagine we had Kompany, Rooney, Arteta, Lampard, Jamie O'Hara.
That's sort of how managing works, yeah. Because you've got it's just because we didn't watch Guardiola's era. They're not all from the same era. Like Guardiola and Arteta weren't generally...
They all managed their boyhood clubs. Arteta, Arsenal,
I'd rather
Rooney,
see
United,
a full
Kompany,
league of Pep
City.
understudies. Because Gundogan's going to go into management.
Who's Tottenham's ex-player that manages them? It's Ryan Mason. That's a bet.
Yeah, but he's all right.
Oh, he's crap.
Who's Leicester going to have? Lineker?
Oh, class.
I don't know.
Yes.
Or Kante. Kante's got to come back as a manager. Imagine how suave he'd be in a suit. But yeah, Kompany to securing his future at Burnley. A bad rumour because it dispels rumours. And we want rumours.
Randall Colomwani, what's about him?
So Randall Colomwani is, this is not really a rumour. We know there's loads of... He's not. He's a fantastic player. That's so disrespectful to Randall Colomwani. Apologise now.
But he couldn't beat Eddie Martinez in the World Cup final, could he?
I did see an interesting thing on that if Colomwani had scored that goal... he'd now be £100 million signing, and he would be.
But guess who's now £100 million? Emi Martinez.
Well, Randal Colomwani, the CEO of Frankfurt, he said he values him at £90 million based on the transfer market. I don't think that's too wild.
90 million.
Because they've got to keep hold of him. He's amazing.
Equally, if we're comparing him to... That's the thing, though. Depends who you're comparing him. Compared to Jack Grealish, I'd say Randal Colomwani is about 175 million. But if you compare him to...
Neymar, 175 million.
Then he's probably at 300 million.
Lukaku was 100.
Oh, he's 500.
So yeah, but I think the reason I'm so interested in this whole Randal Colomwani situation is what this actually shows about the market. Everyone saw the ability that Moani had in 2020, 21. He was sort of for FC Nantes. He was sensational. No one took that gamble on him when Frankfurt spent, I think, 15 million on him.
Yeah.
What a signing that's turned out to be. But it just baffles me why clubs don't take these punts on players at 15 mil.
Yeah.
Because instead they end up buying them from clubs like Frankfurt, from lower Premier League sides for 70, 80, 90 million pounds. It's so bizarre. Just go and take a punt. The worst that happens is you have to sell him on.
Yeah.
For probably a half of what you bought him for. But you're a massive club, you can afford to take that loss.
Where's the rumour?
Well, he's linked with a lot of the top sides. Manchester United are interested, of course. We know that they are interested in a striker. Real Madrid have long touted him as a potential Benzema replacement and a good backup for the short term. I think he's a really talented player who's clearly attracting the attention of Europe's top teams.
In terms of the rumour mill, it's a pretty weak rumour.
Well, another one. This is more of a... We could talk about where he might end up. I could see him at Napoli. They're probably going to lose Victor Osimhen. There's another striker as well, Louis Openda, who I think's more likely to go from Lens. I presume you've heard of him.
Yeah.
The Belgian Pro League.
I just don't think it's a great rumour.
What? Why?
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
There's not really much of a rumour to it. It's just
exactly. It's not much of a rumour.
It's just that I saw the CEO saying he's valued at 90 million.
It's another bad rumour.
Bad rumour.
It's been a poor rumour.
I brought some bad rumours that time. Well, the next one is a confirmed one.
Oh, it's not a rumour, is it? It's another bad rumour. What's going on?
Okay. So Houssem Aouar will join Roma on a free at the end of this season.
Is it completely confirmed by Roma?
No.
So it's a rumour.
It's a rumour.
It's a good rumour.
It's a Roma rumour.
It's a Roma rumour. Oh, we're calling it the Roma rumour mill. Just Roma rumours.
This week, Mourinho decided to punch someone.
He's got a camera and a microphone on the touchline this week rather than just a microphone.
Mate, the scenes when Mourinho has like a GoPro set up on his chest.
No, it's secret. Look at he's like spy cameras like on his chest.
No, I prefer the image that he's covered himself in cameras at all angles. So
he's got a GoPro where there's like big news mic just hanging from his head.
Yeah, that would be quality. But yeah, that hasn't happened. Aouar is going to join Roma. Do you think that's a good signing?
Yes.
This is a podcast. It would be nice if you elaborated on that.
He's a good player. He was rumoured to a lot of time.
Sorry, your only responses like the things you could say at an NSS press conference.
Yes. Good big for the team.
Big feet for a big lad or something. Good feet for a big lad, that one, yeah.
But yeah, I think he's a really good player. He was rumoured to be bought by one of the big Prem sides. He's going to Roma though.
Well, exactly. He should have joined Liverpool, but he had that under...
It was Arsenal.
Nope, he was literally in... No, it was Fekir, wasn't it, that was in Liverpool's...
Yeah. I swear I was rumoured to Arsenal for years.
Yeah, Aouar's always been linked with Arsenal. Now to Roma. Which I think is a good signing, because Roma have signed a lot of free agents who tend to be like 80, like Matic. But this is a good one.
Good signing, good rumour. First good rumour of the day.
Got another interesting rumour, a tasty one. Alexis McAllister. Wow. A name you've probably heard a lot. But Liverpool are apparently very interested in signing the Argentine. And I think this would be a good deal. Liverpool, the most interested. We know other sides have also shown an interest. Liverpool are interested. Well, this is my next point. Liverpool are interested in bringing him and Mason Mount apparently to the club. They're also looking at Matthias Nunez and Manuel Ugarte.
I mean, nothing midfielders. That what they want.
But this is the thing. The same thing with sort of the Moani situation is why are we purchasing? Why are clubs like Liverpool purchasing these players, Brighton. These ready-made talents? Yeah. There's so many players out there like Kefran Turam, like Johan Lepenol. There's so many young players out there you can buy for like £15 million, and instead they're going to go splurge like 80 on
Brighton
McAllister.
Shouldn't sell him. You can't afford to sell him.
Well, this is going to be my next point.
That.
Should Brighton sell?
No, you can't afford to sell him like that to one of your rivals.
I think yes.
And why would McAllister want to jump ship?
Because it's Liverpool.
I think he's got a better chance at Brighton.
They're both going to be playing Europa League football next year.
Are they?
Yeah.
Liverpool not going to be Conference League.
No, Liverpool are more likely to get Champions League than Conference League, mate.
Because I thought 5th and 6th aren't Europa League, are they?
Yeah.
Are both of them?
Yeah, because the FA Cup place is going to the league because it's City United in the final.
And the Carabao Cup went to United.
Do you not know how the Premier League works?
Who gets United's Conference League place?
What?
Because
they're on the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
The league.
So how many European spots are there?
7.
Like
Like there always are.
Oh.
So, as it stands, Brighton will be in the Conference League in 7th, but they've got 3 games in hand. Tottenham are 5 points behind Liverpool. Liverpool pretty much confirmed Europa League with 3 games to go, unless they have a major cock-up. They are only a point behind United. United a game in hand, but that loss to West Ham last night could have major repercussions. But
and Villa and Tottenham will battle it out for Conference League, we might guess.
Probably, yes. Villa 3 points behind.
I mean, they play each other this weekend.
Well, that'll...
If Villa win, they're level, yeah.
But then Tottenham have to travel... welcome Brentford. Who Villa got?
And tough.
Liverpool and Brighton. Fucking hell. That couldn't be a much more difficult. Like, unless it was Arsenal.
They come to Europa League.
Yeah, lose them all when you're out of Europe.
We're out of Europe anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So out of Europe.
8's still good though. Also, everyone clown on Chelsea. They're only 3 points off the top half.
That's shit. That's so bad. But yeah, I don't think Liverpool are going to sign ready-made talents this year, and I don't think they should. I think they
good rumour though. Good rumour.
I think they should be looking at the younger players.
The consensus, the average, rumour mill was a bad rumour mill this week. We apologise, guys. We'll be back with better rumours next week.
We apologise. What rumours did you bring to the table, Harry?
I rated them.
Okay, thanks. I think that last one's a good rumour.
It is a good rumour, but I'm saying
we've got
3 bad rumours, 2 good rumours.
You said Aubameyang was a good one.
No, we had another one in there. We had the...
Oh, you threw the Ronaldo one in there, so we had 3 and 3. So 50% hit rate.
That counts as a bad rumour mill.
I think this was as bad as last week's rumour mill then.
No, we had a good... it was all good last week.
No, there was definitely a bad one in there.
Tell you what you can do. Go watch our podcast last week and tell us what the rumour was.
If you want to... What did we
talk
talk about?
Don't skip to it. Watch the whole thing.
Oh, we talked about United owners last week, so go check that out. It's an interesting one. Hope you enjoyed today. It's been... We got to an hour.
Fun. Yes,
we got about 55 minutes, so perfect.
47.
Oh, right, well, I can't count. But it's been a lovely podcast. We'll be back again. We're trying to do these longer form ones where we sort of get close to that hour mark.
It's nice to cover a bit more of the lower leagues of England.
Yeah. We probably won't ever again, but it's nice to talk about today.
Cover next year with the East Anglian Derby.
Well, if it's on
might cover it live.
We will probably stream it, yeah.
No, I meant like live at the ground.
We're going to go.
Yeah.
If they're less in a box, we'll film it from there.
That's in a box.
The pitch I did that the other week, didn't they? They went to Anfield.
Everyone get Carrow Road.
Or Port Road. Yeah. Either
or. Go Carrow Road.
Yeah, definitely.
Eagley Port Road is nice.
We'll do it in the Gun Lounge.
Yeah, we'll do it in the Gun Lounge.
Seriously, though, with a live audience, that would be class.
There's 80-year-old blokes.
Yeah, they'll be applauding. And we'll have some random Norwich player that I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
But everyone else in there's going mental over. But yeah, that's all from us today. Keep the conversation going in the comments down below on YouTube. And if you want to keep the conversation going even more, then join our Discord. If you want a link, then comment, I want a link.
Or go to the community page, scan that QR code.
Indeed, though, that may not be valid for much longer.
Or the Instagram, scan that QR code.
Again, I think that's only got a day left.
If not, ask for a link.
If not, DM us on any socials or in the YouTube comment section. We will send you a link and you can join the Discord and get involved with the conversation there. But yeah, and if you're listening on Spotify as well, then click, or any audio platform, click all the fun things and do great stuff that helps support the show. That is all from us today, though. Thank you all very much for watching or listening, and we will see you next time.
See ya.